A new program in Central Florida is training people to stop potential school shooters. School safety guardians is what they're calling them. They have the job now protecting students and teachers on campuses that do not have their own school resource officers, who are sheriff's deputies. A state law passed after the deadly shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School gives districts the option to arm certain teachers, school staff, or the so-called school safety guardians. Adriana Diaz is in Bartow, Florida, that's east of Tampa, where future guardians are now being trained. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning. These guardians, who are normal people, not officers of the law, they have been here morning until night training. A lot of them told us they're doing this because they have kids in the school system whose safety they're worried about. Guardians earn $30,000 a year starting this fall. That's less than school resource officers, and that difference will allow every school in this district to have an armed guard. Armed with real guns and real bullets, these everyday people, like a minister, former teacher, and retired police officer, are training to take down a potential school shooter.
I'm tired of hearing teachers having to give their lives to protect students. We're going to be there to engage. You will not have to. We will run to that threat while you take care of what you need to.
Why shouldn't that responsibility fall on law enforcement? You're a former law enforcement officer.
We need more people to step up and get into this function of protecting our children.
You're a minister. Why did you decide to do this?
Well, I have 3 small children in the school system. My wife is a teacher. I want to make sure that those children have the safest, best quality education.
This is a world away from church.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Change your targets out for me, please.
Candidates for the Guardian program have to pass background and psychological checks before an intensive 6-week course that includes firearms training, precision shooting, and both virtual and live active shooter scenarios. Only the candidates who score high enough on tactical and written tests will be placed in one of Polk County's 85 elementary schools this fall. Andrew Pollock, whose daughter Meadow was killed in the Parkland shooting, has been involved from the start.
These kids are going to be safer now from what I accomplished, and hopefully the rest of the country is going to see what we did in Polk County, and we're going to lead by example.
The Polk County program was created by Sheriff Grady Judd and School Superintendent Jacqueline Bird. What about parents who are uncomfortable with more guns on campus or any guns on campus?
Those parents need to wake up and understand this is a new normal. This is the last best chance to save your child when all the different layers of security have failed. And their job is simply this: to be well trained, to react within seconds, to find the active shooter and kill him graveyard dead before he can hurt your child with a gun.
But we're talking about civilians here, not sheriff's deputies or police officers.
Everybody we hire in this industry starts out as a civilian. These folks are starting as civilians, but when they finish their training, they're going to be better trained with more hours and a higher proficiency than a state-certified police officer.
When you see what's happening around our nation and our schools, you just wonder, is it ever going to be here in Polk County? I know I have to do something to ensure that as each parent sends me their child, I have someone there to make sure they're safe.
I come from a time era when we didn't have to worry about guns, schools weren't on lockdown, and things I know have evolved.
Some parents, like Annette Rising, are concerned. When you drop your daughter off for the first day of school in the fall, how are you going to feel about the fact that there is someone carrying a gun there?
Probably a little anxious.
What do you say to people who say this only brings guns into schools, which is dangerous?
I kindly remind them that guns are already being brought into school, and that's much more dangerous.
Are you prepared to potentially kill someone if there is a threat?
At the end of this training, I believe we will be ready to do what we have to do to stop that threat, yes.
Despite your background as a minister?
I'm human. I have to protect my family, as anyone does, and I'm going to protect life the best way that I can.
The program was named after Aaron Feist, the assistant football coach at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, who died while protecting his students. His wife is going to be here later today to meet the men and women who are training to be guardians in the name of her husband.
Adriana, thanks. Great reporting. Yeah, it raises a lot of interesting questions,
does.
which is as they're taking this extensive training course, which is good, they may be faced with the possibility of having to shoot dead a minor.
Yeah.
Because in many of these cases, these school shootings have been carried out by boys who are 14, 15,
Yeah.
young.
Someone the same age as their own kids, potentially.